Welcome back. Today we're going to do something different. Something I've thought about doing but have never actually done. Nightforce scopes are supposed to be very durable, hold their zero very well. So we're going to do a little bit of a durability test, and we're going to see if they actually hold their zeros very well. So I'm going to do some things. I guess you could call it a torture test. I'm not going to get crazy with it. I don't want to ruin anything. Of course I don't. I'm not sponsored by Nightforce. Nightforce doesn't give me optics or anything. So if I ruin it, I have to pay for it. But we're just going to do some testing without trying to get any scratches and really hurt the rifle. So I might use the pad a little bit. But we're going to simulate some things that can happen in the field and that leaves questions in your head. Is my rifle still on? So let's get to it. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot down here. Everything we're going to do is at 500 yards. I could shoot down here at 800, but I don't really want a weather report. When we hit left and right, we can just simply be off because we have some bad wind calls. So 500 is kind of starting to be far enough to really tell really quickly whether we're off, but still not far enough to know, or still not far enough for the wind to affect it that crazy much. It is a little bit breezy. We have some wind. It is swirling right now. It's right to left. A little bit ago it was kind of left to right. So I just traveled home with this rifle a few days ago from Colorado. This is the rifle I used to shoot that mule deer with, and just traveled home with it. I haven't shot it. The last shot that was out of this rifle was that deer. So I had it in my pack with probably 70-80 pounds of meat in it. That meat was laying against the rifle, smashed in there, cinched down really tight. So I think it should have made it through all that, but we're going to find out right now. And then we are going to get a little crazy. All right, first shot. .503 yards, calls for 7.87. All right, I would say she's still on. I actually used this rifle decently rough after that shot, just because of the way that I had it strapped into my pack. We packed that deer out about 2 miles, and I didn't want to carry it, so I stuck the rifle into the pack with the meat. So anyway, that would have been an easy dead deer. We shot, I believe we hit the bottom of the bullseye. All right, let's get a little crazy with it. All right. All right, one of the first things that I was gonna do was that. How many of y'all have ever had that happen? You lean your gun up against something, and the next thing you know, hey, what happened? It's laying on the ground. That actually took a decent little spill, and if I was hunting, I would be a little bit concerned, especially if I have a 200-inch mule deer at 760 yards and I haven't been able to shoot it again. So we're gonna find out right now, are we still on? That hit the top of the bullseye. I held a 3/4 minute for wind. I could feel it. I also have a flag down there, kind of a cheater, but we're also not looking for a weather report. We're wanting to know exactly what we're doing, but that took a pretty good little spill. I heard everything vibrate when that thing hit the ground. You probably couldn't hear it, but I could hear it, and it passed the test. I actually can't remember the last time that I feel like I hit my gun that hard and kept hunting. It's a great little test. It's a great little confidence booster. All right, let's do something else. All right, I gotta apologize to you guys. I did not have this camera turned on, so you did not see that bullet fly, but you can see the impact at the top of the bullseye. It's pretty bright out here, so everything's trying to get washed out on that white target. It's pretty reflective, so the camera's not wanting to show it very good, but you can see the orange dot there in the middle. The first shot was on the bottom of the bullseye. This shot is on the top of the bullseye, so it clearly passed the test. All right, so that appeared to have been good, which is good. All right, I'm kind of brainstorming, trying to come up with ways that I can simulate actual things that happen in the field rather than just being stupid, I guess. But I think something that's probably about as common as leaning your gun up against something and letting it fall is when you're hiking, especially if you're hiking out west and you're climbing a mountain and you're carrying your rifle and you slip and you fall and you kind of slam your rifle into the ground, into the mountain. And I know that's happened to several people that I know. My brother told me he did it last year and actually slammed his rifle against a rock enough to scuff it up pretty good. And he said it was still good. So I'm just gonna do a drop test. So I'm just gonna hold it and drop it sideways like this, just to kind of simulate a blow from the side. I'm gonna do it here on the pad just so we try to not be too crazy, but here we go. This just doesn't feel right. Oh man. That took a pretty wicked blow. I ain't gonna lie. I'm taking the bipod off just so I don't break one of these bolts accidentally by doing something crazy. One thing I will note on this rifle is the rail is machined right into the action. The rail is machined, you can't really see it, but it's machined right into the action, which I think helps with some of that durability because you don't have 4 screws holding the actual rail on, which I think could be weak points. I've never actually heard of them breaking because of being dropped or something like that, but I definitely do think it could be a point that would be weak, where on this rifle, it's not going to be a fail point at all. All right, let's shoot it. All right, so I reviewed the footage on that last shot just to kind of make sure that we didn't get gusted by some wind, because honestly I thought it was knocked off. I thought it was, shooting to the left. And just before I shot, I could see that flag pick up a little bit, and right after I shot, you can hear the wind pick up in the video. And the reason that I went back and did it again, or looked at everything, is because I just was like, yes, I did shoot left. It is knocked off. I moved this 2 MOA to the right, and pulled up, and I didn't do it on camera, but I just did it for my own satisfaction because I thought the video was over. And just to make sure the gun's back on again. And I shot 2 shots that are about this far apart that were 2 MOA to the right. All right, so there you can see that flag. The wind's picked up. The flag's blowing pretty much horizontal. It's a little bit hard to see in the video here, but straight right of the bullseye, the same distance as we just hit left, there's two light spots that I just shot out there off camera, which told me that we probably got gusted by that shot that went left that I thought the gun was off. So we're back to where we were originally. I'm gonna hold about 1 minute of wind, and we're gonna let another one ride and see where we hit. And so I think we did get pushed by the wind. I don't think that we actually knocked the rifle off, because we're back right exactly where we had been and we're still on. So I guess the video continues. 500 isn't far enough, but it to really get gusted too bad. But it is a little bit gusty. It might not be the best time to actually do this test, but we're out here doing it, so we're going to continue. It calms down. You feel like you have almost no wind, and then you shoot, and then you feel that gust, and your bullet probably flew through it. So, like right there, we have probably a 8-mile-an-hour wind pushing full value. And that wind at 500 yards, without actually having the numbers in front of me, I'll tell you right here. That wind calls for 1.4 MOA, which at that distance is 8 inches, something like that. So there's a good chance that most of that bullet was pushed because of wind. So we're just back where we had been. We're still hitting behind the crosshairs. And we'll keep going. All right, we're gonna do the same thing that we just did, except we're gonna drop it on this side. We're just gonna drop it on the opposite side, doing the same thing to see what actually happens. Man, it's actually pretty hard to do. Pretty hard to just take your gun out there and do that. It's kind of hard to do, but we're gonna do it. If I did that in the field, I think I'd just go home. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if I should just go home or not. This is crazy. All right, so I'm sure you guys want to see me do more. You want, I don't know what, you want me to throw this thing or something, but I ain't gonna. That's about as nasty as I want to get with a rifle, and to be honest with you, if it takes any more of a spill than that, I'm not gonna continue my hunt until I've shot the rifle. So, but it's really cool to know that leaned against the truck, this thing was on the bullseye, dropped from the side 2 different times from approximately 3 feet straight on the side of the rifle and the scope, and we're still living good. That one shot was a little left, and I initially thought it got bumped off, but after I moved it right and shot it 2 times, it was shooting to the right, and so I'm like, oh, we must have got gusted. And then I watched the footage, and I feel like the flag picked up, and right after I shot, you can hear in the audio, you can hear that wind. So I think we just got gusted. I felt really good on the shot. I held less on that shot for wind than I had the others, just because I thought we had less wind, so that didn't help anything. But there you have it. I'm not going to keep going. I'm going to be happy with what I see in that test. I know Nightforce scopes are very durable, and if you want to see some other line or some other brand of scope, and I happen to have one around, I might do the same thing with that. I'd like to see this done with a Vortex or a Leopold, or I do some Athlon scopes, especially for more budget rifles. I have about a $600 Athlon I use quite a bit, and we've had good success with it, but maybe I should bring it out and do the same thing. If you guys want to see more, let me know. But until the next video, you guys have yourself a great day.